Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and you guys may be working on the Dawning stuff, and you may be pulling your hair out or being like, there's so much to do in this thing, or there's so much that I have to earn. So my goal here is to cover a couple things when it comes to efficiency on random activity that you may be doing, your best uses for grinding out the essence of Dawn, the best places to do that, and then also cover a couple tips for the oven when you guys are baking a crapload of baked goods for all of these people around the tower, and the NPCs in the world, and your way to masterwork everything and finish these quests for the sparrows. There's a lot to do, but we do have a month, so remember, don't try and no life this thing to be done with everything in a couple days. Some people who have finished some of this stuff up previously also had extra progress from last year. I was on baked good like 160 or 170 when I started this thing because I had previously done quite a bit for the earlier season. So last year's stuff for people who had played before counted for them, so if you're a brand new player, just know that you're going to want to pace this thing out a little bit, but just know you do have a pretty lengthy grind. It's up to you. I'm just going to try and give you a few tips to help make this thing as good as possible. The currency for the Dawning event is going to be the essence of Dawning. Pretty much straightforward. The weekly bounties are going to give you 30. Obviously, you get 2 of these per, and you have 3 characters. It's up to you how much you move around. The main thing about the bounties from Levante is going to be the double EXP, and also the bright dust that you're going to get. The ether cane, and then like the bullet spray, the little ingredients that you get from these daily bounties, not that big of a deal. The double EXP is the bigger deal for all of these bounties. As you guys are going through bounties, things like auto rifle kills, killing Taken, killing enemies with arc, killing Fallen, not that hard. You're going to be doing strikes and gambit and crucible matches and all those things. That's not that big of a deal. My biggest thing when you guys are playing during the Dawning and Season of Dawn is try to be as efficient as you can be. Now, the best ways to be efficient, take anything that you're working on and try and gather as much stuff that you can do at the same time. Even take these 3 bounties right here. These are daily. These are going to rotate. They're probably not going to mash up this well usually, but you still probably are going to have things that are going to overlap no matter what you're working on. So say you've got taken enemies. I need 100 killed. I need 50 killed using an auto rifle, and I need arc damage to use defeat enemies. So combine all of those. Go find an arc auto rifle and go kill Taken or Fallen or both, and by the time you're done, you'll have done all 4. You'll get double EXP, which is huge, because daily bounties, I think, give 6,000, if I remember correctly. I'm probably remembering that wrong. If it's 4 or 6, like these are 6,000, these are 4,000, now it's double. These are worth 8, these are worth 12, and these weeklies are just bonkers big. So the daily bounties from Levante you are definitely going to want to do if you are working on trying to get the boost in power level when it comes to your seasonal artifact. The power level bonus and also the artifact unlocks, you're going to want as many as possible on this one. So if you're working on bounties and EXP, she is going to be the way that you're going to want to spend your time efficiently, knocking out her bounties, dailies especially, as much as you can. So her bounties, not so much for the ingredients or the essence of Dawn. They're just kind of a bonus. It's mostly going to get you the bright dust that you can get on the weeklies and the repeatables, the additional bounties that you can buy over and over and over and over. But the double EXP is going to be the big thing to focus on. If you've done all the bounties for her on dailies and you're still going to be grinding for a while, maybe switch characters, pick up the dailies again. If you know they're easy to knock out, switch, knock them out again, lots more EXP for your artifact. So main thing for Eva that she's going to have 2 quests. I'll cover those a little bit later. But the bounties that you get from her are going to be double EXP and also your chances at double bright dust, which is huge because bright dust is kind of hard to come by anyway. So any double that you get is always going to be a good thing. So her bounties, big time. Second thing that you're going to have when you go through is going to be your oven. Now, your oven is going to require lots and lots of materials. I'll get to the oven in a second. There are 2 sparrows. One of them I've already earned, mainly because the main reason that I have this one done is because most of the work I did on this one was done last season. So if you see people running around with this stuff done and you're a brand new player, you're like, how the hell did you do that already? I had most of the baked stuff for this thing done already. Counted from last season. Very nice that they did that. I don't know if they intended to, but I'm glad they did. So this is one of the sparrows that you can get. This is the Dawning Sleigh that poops out glimmer as you go. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun. Very ornate and goofy. Kind of cool. The new one is going to be the Alpine Dash. Now this thing looks like a snowmobile. Has definitely, I think, snow or blue stuff coming out the back. And the one that everybody wants, the Dawning Parade, increased transmat speed with a side of festive delights. Not entirely sure what that's going to do until I get it unlocked. That's the long one to unlock. Now, what do I have to do to get there? I've had to go through multiple stages of this, bake a certain number of goods. The first one was up to 200, bake a couple different goods and give them to people. I'm hoping this is the last stage because it's 300. Now, when you are baking these goods for all the people all over the solar system, it takes 3 things. I'm going to go into the oven now, but you guys know the big number is 300, so keep that in your head. Each thing takes a material that comes from a enemy type. So you've got ether cane, you've got Cabal oil, obviously coming from Cabal, Vex milk coming from Vex, that type of stuff. Then you've got things like bullet spray, personal touch, perfect taste. Those are the other type. You need Essence of Dawning for every single thing that you bake. Now, the ingredients themselves, most are pretty straightforward. Dark ether comes from Taken. You've got Taken butter. Oh, I'm sorry. Dark ether comes from Scorn, my bad. Taken butter is that one. Chitin powder, that's Hive. You've got ether cane, that's going to be Fallen. Vex milk, you guys get the idea on those. Those are pretty straightforward. I'm still going to put in the comments below and in the description a link to a Twitter post that's got both of these things pretty well stated out. The guy's like Oats FX, I think. He did a couple of really good infographics showing every single recipe and then where to get each ingredient. Because if you guys look through the ingredients, you'll see like Impossible Heat, that's solar kills. Electric flavor, arc kills. Sharp flavor, that's sword kills. Bullet spray, that's from submachine guns, autos, or machine guns. Personal touch is going to be melees. Perfect taste, I think that's a precision kill, possibly. Flash of inspiration might be orbs of light. He's got them all clarified out there. Null taste is void. There's a lot of different ones. So as you're going through all of these activities I described later in the video, you're going to want to vary your playstyle between swords, autos, submachine guns, precision rifles, melees, arc, solar, void, all those different things to make sure you have a variety of these ingredients so you can bake the different things that you need to. If you want every triumph, you're also going to want to bake every single thing, including the one where you have to go into the raid, of which I will try and put a link in the description below on how to do that as well. There was a Polygon article, and I'm sure other people have done it. You bake one thing, you put a wish into the wish wall in the last wish raid, and then in the Riven room, when you fall down the first time, there's a little like snow globe on the ground, and you present it to her. You don't actually have to beat the raid. You can do that solo. I just got done doing it a little while ago. That's why I've got everything done. Now you can bake the thing without giving it to the character, but if you bake it, you may as well give it to the character it's going to, so you can get the triumph for it. You only have to do it once. I'm not going to bake a lot of these cookies for Riven and go in there a lot. I did one, and that's it. So, the main reason you want to bake every single one, though, is so you can masterwork your oven. Notice this thing right here? The main reason, it reduces the cost for all recipes. And by the cost, I mean the Essence of Dawning. It takes it from 15 down to 10. Now, when you guys are looking at the oven, you're wondering, okay, so I need to make 300 items, ridiculous items, out of this oven to completely max out the sparrow. And cross my fingers, it's not more than 300, but I've got to hope that's the max, because it's like double last year. If you don't masterwork your oven, you're looking at 300 times 15 Essence of Dawning. You need 4,500 Essence of Dawning. Now, I'm going to go over the details of where you get the Essence of Dawning and where to farm it. But in a Crucible match, say you get an average of 11 to 12. So if we divide that over 11, if you're unlucky, that's 400 Crucible matches. That is a crap load of Crucible matches. My advice, don't do that. When it comes to the Essence of Dawn, when you masterwork it, it only takes 10. So you're taking 4,500 and dropping it down to 3,000. You're dropping that number by a third. It is massive. Masterwork this thing as soon as possible. So the link into the description for each one of the recipes, farm all the different materials, bake one of each. Give it to the people if you haven't done it yet, especially if you're new. Give it to the new people in the new recipes so you can get all your triumphs done. Once you have all 22, and I say 22 because you have 2 pages, so you got 14 on that page, and then over here we've got 8 more. So you got 22 total. When you have all 22 done and you masterwork this thing and the costs go down, you're saving yourself a lot of time. But still, you're like, oh, I've cooked 22. I still need to make 282 more. Well, 282 times 10 is now 2,800 Essence of Dawn. This is a month-long event, thank God, because that is a crap load of the material. And then say if you're doing Crucible matches, we're looking at 256 Crucible matches to get the rest of your Dawning materials. Now, you could do Crucible matches, and we know Iron Banner's coming, so some of the time is going to be spent in there. And that's fine. But the Essence of Dawn is the big thing that you're going to need. if you're playing strikes, some gambit matches, some crucible, doing planetary materials, doing your bounties and quests and going all over the solar system doing stuff, you're likely to have most of the materials you need between Taken Butter, Electric Flavor, Vex Milk, Pinch of Light, Delicious Explosions, Personal Touch, Dark Ether, Super. All those things are going to come by naturally playing. If you sit in a strike playlist, you're likely to see most enemy types. If you don't use all the same weapons for like a month straight, you're going to get most of the damage types between melee, arcs, void kills, precisions, auto rifles. All those things are going to come. The Essence of Dawn is your time suck. So, what is the best way to get the most of that stuff? Well, when we come out here to the destinations, the main thing I'm going to say, as I was talking about for her bounties, is going to be efficiency. If you are going to go do anything, say it's Mercury, and you want to go spend some time in there, well, you're going to get some Essence of Dawn from that too. But if you're going to go to Mercury, make sure you pick up every bounty you can before you go do any activity, and before you go to any planet. Mercury I'll get to later. Say I need to go do European Dead Zone for a quest for whatever reason I'm grinding for. I need to kill Cabal, Precision Final Blows, whatever it may be. Okay, so say I need to get Cabal. This will be a decent example. First thing I would do is go to first thing actually before you even go to the planet, go to the tower and pick up all the bounties you can that are going to matter. Gunsmith bounties are a must because you're going to be using a bunch of different weapons. This may steer you to use different weapons every day. So Gunsmith bounties, pick those up so you're always getting more experience towards your artifact. Next, even if you're not going into Crucible matches, but you're going into any planet, check the Vanguard, check Zavala, because usually he'll have one bounty sometimes that isn't even strike related, and you might end up in strikes anyway, so my best bet is for you to probably check him, pick those up. But either way, sometimes they are not always strike related. One might be just like, get grenade kills. Cool, you can do that while you're doing other stuff. If it's get stuff in strikes, it's not going to benefit you, but you can jump into strikes later if you want to. Also, make sure you pick up any bounties from Ava before you start wandering off in the solar system doing anything. Make sure you pick up all her bounties so you can do those. All of them. So you've got all your bounties in the tower. Now you've got to go to the European Dead Zone, and you're going to pick up, first thing, head to Devrim K, pick up his 3 little daily bounties. They're not much. They're going to get you a little bit of experience, a little bit of planetary resource, a little bit of glimmer, but they're usually like the easiest things to do. They're like, kill 30 Fallen. You're going to do that without even batting an eye in a public event. Pick them up, knock them out easy. And then say I need those Cabal Precision Final Blows. Well, I can see if there's a Cabal event going on. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. This one is not likely a public event. This one's actually a Fallen one. But it depends. If you're looking at the public events, I know most of them, like Sunken Isles, this is always Cabal, the one up here. I also know the Winding Cove public event is Cabal. If I knew those were coming, I would probably try and do that. If not, and you don't need a public event, go to a zone where you know Cabal are. Firebase Hades has a decent amount. You know Sunken Isles is going to have plenty up here. So say I go to the Sunken Isles waiting for a public event to rotate through this area. We've got a Lost Sector where you can knock some stuff out. When I land, I want to check and see if there are any patrols that are easy to do. Are there any salvage ones, which usually I'm not a fan of, but if you're stuck in a zone for a little while, you're likely to come across enough enemies to satisfy that one. Is there a combat one where you have to kill enemies? Cool, that's an easy one. I'm not likely going to pick one where I have to go like wander off to another zone because I'm trying to stay in one area and focus on that one specific thing. So if it's surveys or scans, I'm probably not going to do that, nor am I going to do the assassination, the high value target, the star. I'm going to leave those out because I don't really want to wander off of the area that I'm at. So this is the process I would go through if I'm going to go farm like Cabal precision kills or something like that. I want to do all that. I'm going to go get every bounty I can in the tower, go by Devrim K, pick up those, see if there's a public event that's going to work. If there's not, go to a zone where I know those enemies are going to be, and then go check patrols as well. If I do all of that, I'm knocking out like 3 different types of bounties. I'm doing a patrol that's going to give me a little bit of experience, but it's also giving me 1 to 2 Dawning Essence as well. As I'm doing these patrols, it's knocking out a bunch of stuff for me, and I'm kind of good to go. If I see a public event, that's going to be worth like 5, I think, Essence of Dawning, and I'm still working on whatever task I was doing, but I'm knocking out a crap ton of experience for my seasonal artifact. If I do the patrols and the public events, those are going to be nice ways to get that little boost of Essence of Dawn without spending forever in certain activities. And I'm still knocking out that quest. As you guys can see, efficiency is my key here. That's how I would go to a planet if there's certain quests you need to do. Now, if you just want to play normal activities, this is how this is going to break down. Crucible matches, average of each one is going to be somewhere between 11 and 12 per match. Doesn't matter how long the match is, doesn't even matter what type the match is, 11 to 12 Essence of Dawning per match. Gambit and Gambit Prime both are going to drop, it seems, 14 to 16, seem to be a little closer to a 16 average for me. Vanguard strikes and also the Nightfall ordeal also seem to be 16. Now, there are some good and bad things. Crucible can go a little bit faster. If you're going to go play Crucible, again, my advice, go by the Gunsmith, pick up his bounties, go by Shaxx, pick up his bounties. Next week, Iron Banner is going to be active, so you may want to spend some time in here anyway, to make sure you get Saladin's bounties for the Pinnacle drops, and spend some time in here. But like this week is a prime example where Team Scorched, while this mode is ridiculous and I feel like I'm terrible at it, it's about a 5-minute match max, and you still get the max amount. You can have like a slow control match if people are playing ranged and working on range skills, but can take the full 10 minutes. So this match, while it could be a mode you favor, going to take twice as long, and you'll have 22 Essence of Dawning by the time you're done with 2 matches here, as opposed to 1. So watch your 6v6 rotator, see what comes through here. Team Scorched, going to be fast. Mayhem, if that comes through, that might be quick. Momentum Control, if they bring that one back from last season, that was fun. Everything hits like a truck. I don't know if it's going to come back through, but again, check this one up here. It could be, if it's just Clash, it's probably not going to be much faster. It's fine. But if it's one of these crazy modes, it could be a lot of fun. Iron Banner, you're going to want to probably do that one because if you are, you know, not so much on the big raids and stuff like that, it's going to be your way to get your pinnacle activities. Kind of an important thing to do. That's coming next week, we know for sure. That's going to be the 24th through the next week, I think through literally New Year's Eve. So that's going to be your week for Iron Banner. Pinnacle activity grind and all that stuff will be there. But again, every Crucible match is 11. Doesn't matter how long it is, 11 to 12. Every so often, whether it's Crucible, Gambit, or Strikes, I seem to occasionally get this like bonus 5 like tacked on the end. But other than that, normally it's 11 to 12. The 5, I'm not entirely sure where it comes from. When you are doing Gambit, it doesn't matter if you're doing Gambit or Gambit Prime. But my advice is Gambit Prime. You may not like Gambit Prime as much. There are heavier hitting enemies in there. You've got the different phases for the damage fight. But typically, time-wise, it's going to be a faster match. Your 14 to 16 or whatever that drops in here is going to be, again, same, whether it's Gambit or Gambit Prime, so you may as well earn it quicker. You're going to have heavy enemies in here. You're going to have the different cycle of enemies that you fight. And this is why my advice of Gambit or Strikes for your Essence of Dawning is going to be good, because you're going to be using different weapons that you can grind out. I can work on my Ritual Shotgun in Gambit or Prime. It doesn't matter. Same thing with Strikes. I can work on the sidearm if I'm not done with that one. And also, if you play like shotguns or snipers, and the next time it's autos and submachine guns, you can grind out all those ingredients that you need while you fight the different type of enemies, whether it's Scorn, Hive, Fallen, Vex. You're going to have all the different type of enemies cycle through here, so you're going to accumulate the ingredients you need to bake while playing Gambit. So this is a good thing you're going to want to throw in your rotation some of the time. You may not love Gambit, but the things that you're going to fight in here, the weapon kills that you can go for, the variety of killing that you can do against a lot of consolidated PvE enemies in one area is going to serve you very well to grind out quite a few ingredients when you need to bake 300 of these things. The other good thing about Gambit Prime, you have access to more bounties from the Drifter when you're working on this activity. Your normal Gambit bounties and your Gambit Prime bounties can both be done in Gambit Prime, so you may as well be in the mode where you can work on more bounties. Think you guys are getting the idea about bounties? I hope so. But again, if I'm going to go to Gambit Prime, Gunsmith bounties, Drifter bounties, regular and Gambit Prime bounties, and then I'm going to make sure I have my Ava bounties, see if there's anything specific in there, and then spend some time in Gambit. Oh, and guess what? I can bring out at least a shotgun in one of my slots and work on my ritual kills as well for Python. So when I'm saying like try and be as efficient as possible, think about all the things you can do before you start up activity, load up all the quests and bounties and weapon choices that you can have on you, and then just sit in that playlist for a little while, knock some stuff out, and then if you want to mix it up, you can, but at least your time is spent very efficiently and very well. If bounties say you need shotgun kills and melee and solar kills and void, make sure you have an option of some of those so you're grinding them all out. So check your bounty requirements, bring the proper loadout necessary, mix it up so you're getting different types of kills so you get some of those ingredients. And the nice thing about Gambit, you'll be facing different enemy varieties as well. Speaking of enemy varieties, we'll get to our last one of Vanguard. For the Vanguard, same principle applies. You can do the Nightfall the Ordeal if you have a fire team. There's some benefits to this. You can do your one for the week at like 980 or 950 and get your 100,000 points for your pinnacle. But I would advise not staying in the Nightfall the Ordeal playlist because it serves you no benefit if you're going for Essence of Dawn. Now, if you're grinding out stuff like prisms and things like that that you need to grind out with some buddies, cool. You're still going to get some dawning stuff in there. You're working with a team, kind of not feeling so grindy for that one thing. But if you're just by yourself and you're trying to get as much Essence of Dawn as possible, Vanguard Strike playlist is your friend. Go to Zavala, pick up all the bounties you can. If you go through a few strikes and you've done your repeatable bounties, go back to the tower, pick up new bounties, queue up once again. The other thing about the Vanguard Strikes and the Nightfall Ordeal, they drop the same amount of Essence of Dawning. It's 16 or 17, kind of in that range. Doesn't matter which one. So again, the Vanguard Strikes are going to be a lot easier to burn through because you don't have things like champions and burns and a higher difficulty level and more people dying. More people will just burn through this thing quickly without even thinking about it. The other benefit is you have modifiers that are going to help you. And please pay attention to the modifiers. I can't tell you how many people I see in strikes working on other stuff. Now, I understand if you're like, hey, I need sniper kills for this gunsmith and Vanguard bounty, so I'm using a sniper on all these little guys. That's fine. I understand that stuff's going to happen. But the big thing you can do is at least try and match the Singe. For one, you need to actually do that for your weekly, which is going to give you one drop. You may not need it. You may be 960. It's fine. But you're still going to do more damage. So if you need an auto rifle kill, go find an ARC auto rifle in your vault. If I need sniper kills and it's a Void Singe, I'm at least going to put a Void Sniper on. Even if it's not my favorite, I'm going to go pull one from the vault and be more efficient. The other one is usually your boost. It's going to be Grenadier, so grenades come up often and they do more damage. You're going to have melee, so make sure your subclass choice has a fun melee, whether it's a throwing hammer for a Titan, a handheld supernova for a Warlock, a throwing knife for a Hunter, whatever you feel comfortable with, and again, match the class. If it's Arc, I'm not going to go run a throwing hammer solar subclass on an Arc one. I'm going to be running shoulder charge as a Titan. I'm still going to shoulder charge everything I can if it's Brawler, but again, match the subclass accordingly. If it's Heavyweight, my major advice for Heavyweight is going to be run a machine gun if you can. For Arc, you've got a couple options. You have 21% Delirium. You've also got to find Memorial. If you're running Void, Hammerhead from Ada is basically the best one. If you're going solar, you've got the one from the Menagerie. You've also got the Avalanche, which is coming from the Dawning packages itself. As you give packages to the random vendors, every so often you get a gift, and you might get the new Cold Front submachine gun or the Avalanche machine gun. Either of those are going to be in there. Now, you may not have one of those. It's fine. I understand. Pick the ones you need to. But try and match accordingly to burn through as much as possible. And then the other piece when it comes to strikes is to try and run through them as quickly as possible. You don't have to kill every enemy in a Vanguard Strike playlist. You get no benefit for killing everything. There's not really a benefit of points. They don't matter. Now, some sections in strikes, you have to kill certain enemies or kill a mini-boss to like open an invisible door to go on to the next section. Yeah, kill everything that you need to do in there, satisfy the requirement. But if it's just like 3 or 4 rooms, you can skip those and just run past them and keep going. Lake of Shadows is a prime example where you can run through almost that entire strike except one section, and then as soon as that's open, run to the boss room. If you get Lake of Shadows, great, that thing can go ultra quick. If you get a Hollowed Lair, I'm sorry, that one's going to take you a little while because I hate the boss's damage phases and immunity phases. So it really depends on what you want to do. Do you want to do strikes? Do you want to play Gambit? Do you want to play Crucible? If you have other stuff to do, make your trips to the planets as efficient as possible. Make sure you have your Ava bounties. The double experience is going to be hugely beneficial when it comes to your seasonal artifact, to boost your power level, and, of course, just experience is going to work well for lots of things. Then, make sure you have as many bounties as possible for the other things. Gunsmith bounties are always beneficial. Every day, they're probably going to make you play a little differently. And they're going to be giving you gunsmith materials that you can buy mod components with. All those things are always beneficial. And they're bounties, so of course they're EXP. If you're going to go in Crucible, pick up the Crucible bounties. Drifter, check his bounties for Gambit. Vanguard, check those for Zavala bounties. All of those things will be adding experience while you're doing these activities that get you the essence of Dawning. As I was saying, you need anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 of this material for the baked goods if you are starting from scratch. So you have a lot of stuff that you need to do. Now, you don't have to force yourself into 200 strikes. I think most people might lose their mind, so mix it up. Next week is going to be Iron Banner. You're probably going to be playing a lot of that. Maybe there's a boost for Infamy in a following week. Play a little bit of Gambit while that's going on and work on a Gambit reset. Maybe it's an off week, there's not too much going on. Spend some time in strikes. It's really just kind of up to you and what you prefer. But also remember, as we're in the Season of Dawn and we're trying to upgrade these obelisks and that polarized fractaline that you need, if you are going to be doing a certain activity a lot, like say in the Crucible it's coming up for Iron Banner, make sure you've got the Mars obelisk maxed out so you get as much Crucible polarized fractaline drops as you can. If you know it's a week where strikes are going to be coming up next, there's no Infamy, there's no bonus Valor, there's not much going on, go make sure when it comes to strikes, the EDZ obelisk, which I know is really difficult to interact with, trust me, I had my hardest time today, I feel you. But if you can max that thing out, then every time you're on the Vanguard Strike playlist, you're getting 16 Essence of Dawn, you have a chance at some polarized fractaline, you're working on Gunsmith, Ava, and Zavala bounties. There are ways to make this a very, very efficient grind. So, those are all of my tips for you guys. Some of them may have been repeated a lot, but there is a lot to do. I still have 100 of these things to cook up. 98 at least. So I have a fair amount of grinding to do for me as well. So don't think you're going to be alone in this one. I've got to do it as well. So I hope this video helps for you guys. I know some of these have been longer explanation guides. The obelisk was lengthy. This one isn't short, but there's a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm just trying to give you guys one 25-minute thing to listen to. And then when you're done, you guys can have an idea of what to go do everywhere in the game. So hopefully you all found this one beneficial. If you did, drop a like below, leave a comment. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we are trying to grind our way to 50k subs. I'm trying to see if I can apply to be a content creator at GuardianCon, and that's apparently the threshold for that one, so that would be a really cool thing to get. And 50 is halfway to 100k, and that's the play button, so trust me, that grind that's a huge milestone if I can get there. So the support you guys give is always appreciated. You can also find me on Twitch and Twitter. Sometimes I'm streaming, sometimes I'm tweeting goofy updates, sometimes I'm just tweeting random stuff on Twitter. So whatever is going on, thank you guys. I hope you have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of those things to you guys. I'm not well versed in all of the holidays. I'm sure there are plenty that I've forgotten. But to all of you out there that are celebrating anything, thank you guys for the support from everywhere around the world. I would not be able to do all the stuff that I do without the support from you guys. So thank you very much. And honestly, it's been a great year. Destiny's in probably one of the best places it's been. Is it perfect? No, but there's some awesomeness here. And I just want to thank all you guys and the community out there for being mostly just an awesome, positive community. And thank you guys. Have a great holiday break. I'm going to be traveling. Got a couple other videos I may try and get up. I don't know as many are going to be up while I'm gone, but I'll get back to it when I return. So thank you all. Have a great one. Enjoy your, hopefully, week off, a little bit of time off with family, friends, and just have a good one. I will see you guys soon. I will be returning later in the week, so you guys can catch me. No Last Word podcast for a little while, but maybe I'll do my own. So thank you guys very much. Have a great one, and I'll see you soon.